Hello there, I'm Dave from Dyno Bike. Just behind me is a Yamaha MT07. Today we're going to fit a YSS shock and one of their fork kits. So I wanted just to show you how to do this because it is pretty straightforward. You can do this from home if you've got a little bit of a skill set and a few tools. So first of all, we need a scissor lift. If you haven't got a scissor lift, a hydraulic jack with some blocks on it will do. Make sure you've got the bike steady because otherwise it will fall over. Obviously, if you want to get a scissor lift, you can buy them online on eBay. They're not very expensive, probably handy for other projects around the house as well, to be honest. Anyway, so we've got our scissor lift there. I'm going to just crank this up a tiny bit to take the weight off the back wheel. It doesn't have to be high off the ground, just enough so the wheel spins. We have this chain guard here, or mud guard. There's a bolt there and there's a bolt there. But there's also we've got this little rev nut here which is tucked away on the other side of this plastic guard on the inside of the swing arm. So make sure you get that little sucker out before you try pulling the guard off. Once the guard is out of the way, we just have a bottom bolt and a top bolt. I've already loosened my nuts off, so we're ready to go with this one. You'll have to loosen your nuts off obviously. And then we just want to jiggle the swing arm a little bit and this bolt will come out pretty easy. And then it's just the top one to pull out there. One out. Take our YSS shock, feed him in there. And then put the bottom one in. Here we go. Bang the nuts on it on the other side and torque that up. The torque settings are in the manual. If you're not sure, please refer to those and torque those nuts up to their specified torque. What else can I tell you? That is about it for this one. We'll put the guard on it and then we'll move on to the forks and show you how straightforward it is to do the forks. Alright, so the shock's in, now we're going to do the forks. So I have got a stand on the front to get the front wheel off the ground, and I've got a stand on the back which you can't see from there, but it's just a normal race stand. This is the best and easiest way to do this because you need to get the front wheel off the ground in reality. So either that or suspend it somehow, but the front end's got to come off the ground. So then once you've got it off the ground, we want to undo these top nuts. I've undone the one on there, so I'm just going to undo this one here. But first of all, there is a bolt here. Just loosen this clamp off so it's loose. Then we can put a spanner on there and undo this top bolt cap, I should say. We won't be reusing these caps because we've got new ones to go on it. The new ones have got preload adjusters on them, which is another really cool feature of this kit. Just be careful as you're undoing these because there's not a lot, but there is a little bit of tension on them from the spring. Alright, so it just popped off there, and then just take that off there. Now I've also removed the master cylinder because it's actually in the way, stopping us from getting the spacer out. So we want to get that spacer out first of all. Now the forks are rubber mounted, and as you can see we're hitting on that, but if we just twist the rubber mount just a little bit, it doesn't take much, it will come out. Down in there's a washer there to come out first. Get our washer out, and then I find that it's easier I'll just straighten this up and compress the fork like that so we can get a bit closer to the spring. There it is there. I can get my hand on it there. Right, then I want a rag just in case we get a bit of oil coming out, which if you just go slowly you won't get any oil overspill. Alright, there's our original spring, which we are not going to reuse. 'Cause Right, and that there is our valve kit. So we've got new caps with preload adjusters on them to go in there, so we can fine tune our suspension. We've got a new spring to suit the guy's weight, and we've got a PD valve here, which is for controlling the oil flow. All of this is bolt on, drop in. You don't need to adjust anything. It's going to come set up to your weight and your specification. So all we need to do is fit all this stuff up. Okay, so we've got our valving kit, it's ready to go in, but just before we do that, it's worth checking to make sure your oil level is correct. Okay, so we need a ruler, and then we want to compress the fork, so get a mate to hold the fork compressed, or put some blocks underneath your wheel, whatever you have to do to fully compress it. Once it's fully compressed, I'm going to do that now. We fully compress our wheel, drop your ruler down to here, and I would go down to, you want to measure 200 mil from the top, all right, and then bring it back out again. Let's see where our oil line is, and we haven't got an oil line there at all, so we need to add a little bit of oil to our one. So we'll put some oil in here, and then do the same procedure again. We'll compress the fork, put the ruler down in there, and check to make sure that we've got the measurement we're looking for. What's the measurement we're looking for? We're looking for a measurement of between 120 to 150 millimeter air gap from the top of the fork to wherever the top of the oil level is inside the fork. Once we've got that right, then we can go ahead and put our kit in the fork. Okay, final leg. We've checked our oil levels, topped it up to where it needs to be. Now the PD valve that goes in first, we want to drop it in this way. So now we're just going to go and drop that in there like so. Away it goes. Fork spring is next. Let's get our spring. Slide that in there. Down it goes. Next is our new washer and spacer. So we want the washer first. Drop that washer down in there. And just have a look to make sure the washer's flat, because sometimes it gets kinked at an angle, and then you put this in and it won't be sitting all the way in. So just make sure that the washer's sitting flush on top of the spring. And you want to slide that sucker in there. Right, and it should be just below the level of the top of the fork. If it's hanging up here somewhere, you haven't got it all the way down. So you have to pull it out and check it again. So we've got that done. And now we just screw this into the top. You find that there should be a little bit of preload on there, which is perfect. And we just screw that down into there. Quite a big spanner for that one. That one there, 19. That's it. Now don't go reefing this up. It doesn't need to be super tight. We want to do is nip it up. You know, don't overdo it. Like, there you go. That's it. Done. Then we're going to do our little. Don't forget to do the pinch bolt back up. Pinch bolt up. If you're not sure of the torque again on that, please look it up in the manual and get your torque wrench out to torque it up. That's it. We're pretty much finished. This bike's ready to go. Thanks for watching. I'm Dave from Dyno Bike.